This is Just the News. I'm Faye. Good evening and thank you for joining us. We'll take a close look at what's happening in Kerala to begin with, as heavy rains continued to lash the state, causing flooding in areas that wouldn't normally flood. The death toll now, according to the state government, is 35 in rain-related incidents. Bodies were recovered from the debris in Kutikal in Kottayam district and in the neighbouring Idukki districts as well. 184 relief camps have been set up across the state. The Ministry of Home Affairs of the central government is closely monitoring the situation and has assured all possible assistance to the state government if necessary. The National Disaster Response Force, the NDRF, has deployed 11 teams for rescue operations in the state. And of course, there are teams from the Indian Navy and the Air Force and the Army deployed for rescue and relief right now. With the water levels rising because of the heavy rains, in the catchment areas, there's been a red alert issued around 10 dams downstream. 2 shutters of the Kaki Dam in Pattanamthitta have been opened on Monday. State Revenue Minister K. Rajan has said that there is no need to panic for right now. Only 10% of the water will be released from the dam in Kaki as they had done last time. That's the only amount of water that will be released during this year as well. Chief Minister of Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan, has had an emergency meeting held today, and he directed an expert committee to monitor the water levels and take decisions on opening dam shutters if needed. The pilgrimage to the Ayyappa temple in Sabarimala has been put on hold, and devotees have been instructed not to proceed towards the temple because the Pamba river, is overflowing and hence it is very dangerous. Yellow alerts have been issued in majority parts of the state for October 20th to October 22nd. Colleges which were set to reopen in Kerala on Monday, today the 18th of October, after months of being shut, will now only open on the 25th of October, keeping in mind the rain situation. The IMD has warned of isolated rainfall between the 20th of October and the 24th of October. Another alert has been issued for a different state. A heavy rain alert has been issued for Uttarakhand. The IMD has issued a heavy rain alert on Monday and an orange alert for Tuesday. The Chamoli District Administration has banned all trekking, mountaineering and camping activities in the district. The Badrinath Yatra has been halted as a precautionary measure. Schools, colleges and Anganwadi centers have been shut or stayed shut today. This terrible news consistently coming out of Jammu and Kashmir, with a spate of terror attacks that continued into Sunday. 2 migrant workers from the state of Bihar were gunned down by terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir on Sunday, that's the 17th of October, taking the total number of civilians killed in these targeted attacks to 11 in just 1 month. The frontal outfit of the Lashkar-e-Toiba, a terror group called the United Liberation Front, has apparently claimed responsibility for these attacks. On Saturday, the day before that, 2 other labourers from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar were killed by militants as well. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has announced ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees to the family of the deceased. Terrorists opened fire on labourers in the Kulgam district on Sunday. Another labourer was injured in the incident. The killings come after a day after a Golgappa seller, a street seller called Arvind Kumar C from Bihar, and a carpenter called Sahir Ahmed from Uttar Pradesh were shot dead by terrorists in the valley. Of the 11 people killed so far, 5 were from other states. Among the victims were Makanlal Bindru, a prominent member of the Kashmiri Pandit community and the owner of a pharmacy in Srinagar; Muhammad Saifi Lone, a taxi driver; teachers Deepak Chand and Supinder Kaur, and a street food vendor called Virendra Paswan. The killings have sparked fear in the valley, prompting an exodus of Kashmiri Pandit families living in transit camps, and dozens of other people, including government employees who had returned to the valley after getting jobs under the special scheme announced by the Prime Minister for Kashmiri migrants. In fact, today's news reports also carried reports of labourers and migrant workers from Bihar and Uttar Pradesh and other states going to the train station to leave the state, to leave the Union Territory, I beg your pardon, of Jammu and Kashmir. The police have launched a massive crackdown and detained about 900 people across the Union Territory for alleged links with separatists. 13 terrorists have been killed by forces in the last 1 week. 3 members of the Nihang Sikh order have been arrested for their alleged involvement in the murder of 35-year-old Lakhimpur Singh at Singhu border protest site. They were sent to police custody for 6 days by a court in Haryana. The police claimed that the 3 accused, Niran Singh, Bhagwant Singh and Govind Preet Singh, have confessed to the murder and cited desecration, I'm quoting here, of their holy book as a reason. Meanwhile, the Samyukta Kisan Morcha, which is the umbrella body of the farmers' unions that organized the farmer protest, has condemned the incident and distanced itself from the murder. In a statement, they said, and I quote, "We want to make it clear to both sides, the Nihang group and to the deceased, that they have no relations with the Kisan Morcha or the farmer protest in any way." Well, the farmer protest continued today with rail rokos organized in several states. In Punjab, farmer unions burnt effigies of the Prime Minister, the Home Minister and the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, among other BJP leaders in 550 locations in the state of Punjab. In the state of Uttar Pradesh, restrictions under Section 144 of the CRPC were imposed in Lucknow in view of this rail roko agitation called by farmers over the Lakhimpur Kheri incident. The Uttar Pradesh police put out a statement saying that it will take action against anyone who participates in this agitation, and it will impose the National Security Act, which is a very stringent act, if anyone tries to disrupt normalcy. The Chief Public Relations Officer of the Northern Railways said that around 50 trains in 130 locations were affected because of the farmer agitation in Punjab and Haryana. Well, there is a sliver of good news, and that sliver comes from our COVID numbers, which are looking better every day. India reported 13,596 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. That number is consistently dropping, and it's dropping because Kerala's numbers are dropping. Kerala reported 6,676 new COVID cases and 60 deaths in the last 24 hours, down sharply from the 20,000 they were reporting not long ago. Kerala, of course, has different problems now with the floods and the fact that people are having to be moved into rescue and relief camps, which means that they will have to be rescue and relief camps that also keep in mind the COVID situation and maintain some sort of distancing, which is going to be a challenge. The good news also from Mumbai. On Sunday's numbers, Mumbai reported 0 COVID deaths for the first time since the pandemic began at all. Now, the city of Mumbai obviously was the worst hit in the first wave and among the worst hit in the second wave of COVID, given how tightly packed the people are in this city. But the fact that the city has reported 0 COVID deaths is, of course, a silver lining. Now, one hopes that the numbers will stay that way. Let's take a look at news coming in right now from the world of business and economy. The price of petrol and diesel were hiked for the 11th time on Sunday in the month of October. This takes the recent number of hikes over the last 2 months up to 30 hikes. With this hike now, people in Mumbai will have to pay 111 rupees and 77 paise for petrol and 102 rupees and 52 paise for a litre of diesel. In Delhi, petrol is 105 rupees and diesel costs 94 rupees and 57 paise. Remember, we're still calculating taxes, so the actual price of petrol before tax is about 47 rupees a litre. Everything after that, between 47 rupees and 111 rupees, is state and central taxes. Taking a look now at news coming in from around the world. Let's take a look at Japan. Japan's new Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida, has said that there will be no delay in the plans to release contaminated water from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant into the sea. This comes after there's been opposition from fishermen in Japan and neighboring countries. Japan claims that the water has been treated to remove all radioactive material. It has built up at the site since the plant suffered a triple meltdown in March 2011. Now, more than 1 million tons of water are being stored in 1,000 tanks at the site. The Japanese government incurs an annual cost of 100 billion yen to store that water. South Korea has expressed concerns that the decision would bring direct and indirect impact on the safety of its people and the surrounding environment. In Bangladesh, at least 6 people were killed and several others injured in communal violence that took place around the Durga Puja celebrations last week. According to Al Jazeera, the police in Bangladesh have detained at least 300 suspects following the unrest. Quoted by Al Jazeera, Hindu and Outlook, where the violence erupted across Bangladesh after a photo was circulated on social media showing the desecration of a holy book, the Muslim holy book, in one of the Durga Puja pandals, allegedly. Now, the Home Minister of Bangladesh has said that 90 people have been arrested and they will hunt down the masterminds. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has promised to bring justice to the culprits behind the violence, saying anyone involved in the attacks of Hindu temples and Durga Puja venues will not be spared. According to PTI, sporadic attacks and vandalism have also been reported on Friday. Authorities issuing prohibitory orders in the Noakhali district, banning public gatherings from dawn to dusk. The Associated Press has also reported thousands of people clashed with the police in Dhaka after the main Friday prayers. On Sunday, BDNews24.com reported that several houses of Hindu citizens in Bangladesh were set on fire on Sunday in a village in Rangpur district, which is 255 kilometers from Dhaka. That situation remains concerning. In Afghanistan, a senior official from the UN announced that the Taliban may soon announce a framework for girls' education. Now, this comes 4 weeks after Afghan boys have been allowed to enter and allowed into secondary education institutions, but girls have not. The UNICEF Deputy Executive Director Omar Abdi has said to the United Nations at the United Nations in New York on Friday, the de facto Minister for Education has told us they're working on a framework which they will announce soon that will allow all girls to go to secondary school. We're expecting that to happen very soon. Remember, the Taliban has banned women from sports and from the workplace. There are several restrictions now announced around women in educational institutions as well. Our positive news remains the fact that Mumbai has reported 0 deaths from COVID on Sunday. Like I told you, we hope that those numbers remain steady. My team and I worked through the lockdown and the COVID onslaught in the city of Mumbai in places like Dharavi and other slums. And we're really personally also really happy to see that no lives were lost over this weekend, and we do hope that people will continue to maintain social distancing and follow the rules in order to make sure that we don't lose any more lives. Thank you so much for watching Just the News. It is our pleasure to bring you the news night after night, and I do hope you enjoy the work that we do as well. For people in Uttarakhand and in Kerala, we hope you stay safe. You are in our prayers and on our minds. Thank you for watching. Good night.